Hey y'all, I'm here. Come on in, hit the like button. The link is already in the chat. So y'all can come on up here and talk to me, please. Come talk to me. Come here. Come talk to me. Y'all know I was in my feelings, right? It's all good. It's all good. Come on up here, Harlem girl. Oh, I'm so mad at her.
That was so crazy that, I saw somebody had it posted and I said, let me go see what is going on this docket.
Right.
Because, like, it just shocked me on a Sunday. And then from her, of all people.
Right, of all people. Oh, oh. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I hope people come back in because I had to get off that phone. I needed to talk to you. I needed to hear your voice. Because, I'm like, here's why I'm mad. Like, not because I got a vendetta with her or nothing like that, but I'm mad because you came out for the world to see on a big platform such as Tasha K and said that he did all of these things for you, and we felt for you. We felt for you after knowing what he had did to Cassie, right? And then you didn't show up for court for whatever reasons. I'm thinking like somebody done paid her not to come. And then you come out and you say, he's not a danger to you. Like that's not the person you know. What? Is that the real Gina?
Right.
The real Gina stand up? We don't know.
Because I'm wondering, did the lawyer do the letter and she just put her name to it?
Possibly. T Love said free Puff. T Love still standing with it. Free Puff. Well, Puff has supporters. So, I mean, they're trying to free him. So I feel like Gina is Cap. I don't know if anybody will agree with me or be mad about that, but that's how I feel. And I only feel like that because of what she's done. Like she said, he was this bad monster. He kicked my belly. I was down and she crying and she's making people feel for her. And then now all of a sudden it wasn't really that way. How can a court take you serious? How can anybody take you serious now?
Right. Right. And that's why she didn't testify.
That's exactly why. Hey, thank y'all so much for coming in. Hit the like button. I'm sorry that I had to get off my phone, but I needed people on the stage to talk to me. The link is in the chat. Come on up. Let's talk about it. Also on today, the lawyers have responded to the court's decision to deny him getting out. So we'll read that really quick. But I had to get that letter read. I was like, no. Like I even get that you didn't want to come to court and show up in court. Okay, that's fine. But here's the thing. Like you're telling us two different things. We're seeing two different sides. And we just want to know what is the truth. What really happened? Like what changed your mind? Did somebody pay you? Did somebody persuade you? Or do you really feel like this? That's all we want to know.
Right.
Just tell us. But now I don't know what to believe. So never mind. Don't tell us nothing. Okay, I'm going to read this real quick.
But I had to go look back because I said maybe I'm not telling the truth. So I know he was involved in this charter school, Capital Preparatory, I think it is.
Was that Harlem?
He Yeah, it's one in Harlem, it's one in the Bronx.
Okay.
He was involved with the school opening. He donated funds for the school opening. The school's been open about 7 years. In the
Okay.
7 years, they've had 7 principals. They've had a high turnover of
You.
teachers. They say that sometimes kids go for days just sitting without a teacher.
Oh,
But
wow.
this is what he was involved in. So this is what he did for the community.
But I wonder what causes that. Like, what happened, that there was such a turnover. And why wasn't whoever was the owner of this paying close attention and vetting teachers and making sure that these teachers that it was going to stick, like these kids, like this, that was a big deal, right? So
Yeah.
is it
Yeah,
still is it still currently open?
it is currently open. They experience a lot of violence in the school.
Hmm.
He was supposed to have been involved. That's why I said this is what he's done for the community. Because he was supposed to be involved, even though he gave at the beginning, he helped to start the school. He
Right.
was supposed to be involved and he wasn't. Because I had to go look back and see there was some award ceremony that they were presenting him with the award at the Apollo a few years ago. For
Right.
some reason, he didn't show up. He said that he was having problems with travel, but he accepted the award via video on his jet.
So he didn't even go to the school?
He didn't even go to accept the award. Nope.
See, that's a problem for me. And it's a problem for me because your name is written all in it, right? You get the accolades for it, but these kids need you to show up for them. Like that's a big responsibility when hold on. Okay. That's a big responsibility when involve children and their education and their well-being. And I feel like if he would have maybe showed face more, been more responsible, used more of his resources, it probably could have been more successful. Get more security so there's not issues in the school. I don't know how it's functioning, but that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. If he had been, I think if he had stayed more involved with it, maybe, it may have been better because a lot of people put their kids in the school because of him, because
Yeah.
it was a celebrity,
Yep. And
you know?
I'm sure of the things that he promised, right? The things that the reason he was opening it and the things that he was promising for. So yeah, I agree with you. That had he, just been a little bit more involved, that it could have been a little bit better for the kids and the parents, state of mind, like worried about their kids going, and they're saying that it's a lot of violence in that school. That's something he could have been advocating for, to keep the violence down. This is how we're going to do it. If you're going to be in this school, this is how you function in this school. If you want to be violent, you can't be in this school. Like like some ground rules, I guess. I don't know. And then an overturn of teachers. I'm sure the teachers were sick of the violence, and maybe I don't know. I don't want to speculate on why, but it just seemed like a revolving door.
Right.
And does that stay for just the Harlem location, or we haven't dug that far into it?
That was the Harlem location that I had looked at. I didn't look at the Bronx location, but more than likely, I'm just believing it may be something
Same.
that's going on with that one as well.
Yeah. And so also Bad Bunny, he showed up to get that key to the city that got snatched back and given the key. Oh, Keith Sweat got it. Well, anyway, he showed up to get the key for himself, right? Just, I mean, when you open something like that, that's for the kids. You got to show up for them. They probably had people in their lives that didn't show up for them. Their parents are saying, okay, here we got this black man, this black billionaire that is offering to put his funds in and his time into this for a better Keith Seat. Who's Keith Seat? Or okay. Okay. But he offered to put his time into that. Where are you? You got to show up for him. You got to show up for him. So anyway, I'm just I would not put it past the fact that Gina and Diddy are seeing each other, that she's calling herself being back with him. Because now he has somebody advocating for him that he was involved with. He's going to keep her close to him so that she can keep doing things like this. So I don't know, Harlem. I don't know if the lawyer wrote the letter. I don't know who wrote the letter, but her name is on it. So,
Right.
so he is agreeing to it.
But see, you know why I believe, because you know I've been hearing things about him and Gina and what have you. Um, Everybody else is gone. Jane is gone. Young Miami is gone. Whoever else he may have been dealing with is gone because he's locked up. So the promise, oh, it's only you, it's only going to be me and you, she's willing to accept that.
I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I'm just frustrated, Harlem. Or maybe I shouldn't be this frustrated, but I am. All right, so let's just look at the response from hold on, y'all. They asking me, nobody got the notification? Yes, we're live. What you do? Did you get the notification, Harlem? Did everybody get the notification?
Yeah, I got a notification.
Okay. All right, so we are live. All right, so I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna read this really quick. Again, so as you guys know, they denied for Sean Combs to get out due to, first of all, they're just saying that he's just a threat, he's a violent person, and also due to whatever that state code that code is, like it's 49 or 34 something like that code that says that even under the Mann Act, for what he was found guilty for, that he should remain detained. And so let's see what the lawyer said. And this was actually today. So, dear Judge Subramanian, Sean Combs, through his counsel, submit this brief letter in reply to the government's response to his motion for release on conditions pending sentencing. Impervious to the jury's verdict, the government proceeds as though Combs was not acquitted of trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, along with all the racketeering acts with which he was charged and found not guilty. Hell bent on punishing him for being a user of prostitution services in a more draconian manner that anyone in U.S. history, the government continues to target him unfairly, just as it has done from the inception of this probably misplaced investigation. Despite the jury's verdict, it continues to make factual statements that are plainly at odds with what 12 New Yorkers found, and to try to keep Combs incarcerated, even though the jury rejected the serious charges that led to his pretrial detention in the first place. Specifically, the government argues that Combs, 1, has failed to meet the standard of reconsideration, 2, does not show exceptional circumstances, and 3, cannot reasonably show Combs's appearance in court or the safety of the community. For the reasons stated below, the government's arguments all fail. The government first, the court has ample authority to grant bail. What is it? The government first argues that Combs's bail application should be considered as a motion for reconsideration by the court, EFC 488 at 1. However, as the government acknowledges in a footnote, the Bail Reform Act is silent on when or if a district judge may consider his or her own detention order pending sentence. United States versus Alaska, all those. And then 2, the government also concedes, as it must, that the court can reconsider its discussion under its inherent power to reconsider his own ruling, EFC 488, all those. But all the cases cited by the government discuss bail pending appeal. Oh, really? And pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 314b, this court may order that pending imposition or execution of sentence or pending appeal of conviction or sentence, a person be released. Thus, the court may revisit the bail discrimination at any time. This makes sense as courts routinely modify conditions of bail pending sentencing to allow for travel or many other circumstances, and the high standard of reconsideration is not considered. Accordingly, the court may consider the application without treating it as a motion for reconsideration. This is especially true given the exigencies of July the 2nd, 2025, where the jury reached a verdict in the morning and the parties were arguing bail several hours later the same day. Unlike a more traditional setting for the motions, where parties typically have a day, if not weeks, to consider the facts, the law, and their arguments, the events of July 2nd were fast-moving, and it was impossible for the parties to review the scores of Mann Act cases to fashion an appropriate argument to the courts. For these reasons, we submit to the court. We submit that the court has ample direction or discretion to consider this application. Exceptional reason for exit. Exceptional reasons exist because of both the facts underlying the conviction and the conditions of the MDC. The government argues that Combs has failed to show the need to prevent a manifest injustice as required. 3, the government claims the defense has already argued exceptional circumstances based on a comparison of this case to other Mann Act convictions, but that was a hurried application the day of the verdict based on a very quick review over the course of a day of other Mann Act cases. That quick review yielded 4 cases, which counsel distinguished at the hearing. After distinguishing just these 4 cases, counsel argued that they provided a strong argument for a reasonable sentence in this case, and that counsel would try to get Combs sentenced as soon as possible. Now, with the benefits of further research, counsel has reviewed scores of cases from across the country and submits this reviewed motion for bail, showing the exceptional circumstances exist to warrant release pending sentencing. There has been no remotely similar Mann Act conviction, and the cases the government cites are distinguishable. For purpose of this application, we assume that the Mann Act requires detention post-verdict subject to exceptional circumstances. However, as shown in our original application of July 29th, 2025, the statute has been reserved, for instance, where people, primarily women, are forced into prostitution, where children are lured or forced into that, and where the defendant is motivated by profiting from the business of prostitution. It has quite literally never been applied to the facts here, where a male defendant and his longtime companion agrees to bringing other males into their adult consensual relationship. The government is unable to and does not attempt to dispute this point, which alone amounts to an exceptional reason for release. Even the few other cases where the defendant of a Mann Act prosecution was a user of prostitution services are completely different from the instant case. The defense's bail application cited Throwbridge, Stebick, and Tillis as examples of Johns solely convicted of the Mann Act, who all received bonds after their conviction. The government argued that those defendants were not as culpable as Combs, that defendant Stebick only had one occasion of transporting a victim across state lines. Defendant Trowbridge only had 2 occasions, and defendant Tills had 6. What the government ignores, however, is that the defendants were members of a group called the Jesters. Government ignores, Jesters, who brought women, who brought the P word across the state lines to have X for money with the members of the group as a common practice, not just the occasional indicted. Moreover, the victims for all 3 defendants were victims of X trafficking. They could hardly speak English and were undocumented immigrants who were tricked and coerced to work as P words by a defendant in a related case who profited from their forced labor. It cannot possibly be that patronizing ex-trafficked undocumented victims is less culpable than the conduct here, where these alleged victims were adult American men who chose to participate in the actual activity, got paid thousands of dollars, and considered themselves friends of Combs and his girlfriends. Nobody regarding Stebick, the defendant, was a member of the Jesters, and yet the government argued that the defendant did not even have X with the victim. Similarly, Combs did not have X with the men there. Hold on, y'all, just a second. Did he call you? That's cute. You got the card, or you need physical? You need the card? Okay, hold on, y'all. Sorry. Go get my purse at the room. The government brushes over Collins, where the defendant was released following a mistrial on ex-trafficking counts, then tried for violating the Mann Act, was convicted and allowed to remain on bond pending sentencing. Collins's conduct was far more egregious, as the victim called 911, stating she was being held against her will. This shows that Combs's continued detention pending sentencing, despite his acquittal on the charges that actually involved true violence, unlike the Mann Act count, is unwarranted and extraordinary, and these are exceptional circumstances warranting his release. Turn the fan on medium. The government also cites United States versus Bloomer 791. Okay, that's cuss law, which it claims shows that present circumstances are not exceptional. However, the defendant's exceptional reasons were solely family circumstances, which the court found was not enough to qualify as exceptional. In so finding, the court in Bloomer held that to qualifying as exceptional, the reasons put forward by the defendant need not present an absolute legal novelty. An unusual legal or factual question can be sufficient, as can a substantial question, in the presence of one or more remarkable or uncommon factors. That is exactly what we have here. Combs's conviction on these Mann Act counts, as well as the unusual legal application of the facts, are indeed sufficient to qualify as exceptional circumstances. MDC is an exceptional circumstance under Chavez. The government argues that Chavez is no longer persuasive authority for this court because Chavez was published over 8 months before Combs stepped foot in the MDC. EFC 488 at 7. The government, however, ignores the reality at MDC. The cases since Chavez was counsel cited that describes the conditions there and paints a misguided picture of the court of the reality of the conditions at the facility. We continue to be grateful to the facility staff for allowing access to counsel to Combs to prepare for trial. Without this critical access, Combs would not have been able to prepare his successful defense. However, that does not change the reality of the conditions of the facility, which is true, for the past 11 months. The government argues that during the defendant's stay at the MDC, the facility has made enormous strides in increasing and stabilizing their staffing level, improving medical services, and improving physical conditions. Though MDC initiated these efforts in 2024 after the Chavez decision, any increases in spending were reversed this year due to the federal government's aggressive budget cuts. For example, since January 2025, there have been cuts to BOP staffing and pay and decreases pending across the agency, exaggerating an already troubled situation. That is so true. That is so true. Contrary to the government's contention, living conditions at the MDC remain inhumane and the conditions seem unlikely to improve due to the aggressive government budget cuts. MDC routinely serves food that is expired or infested with maggots. Oh my gosh. The maggot-infested food captured in that photo is unfortunately not an uncommon experience. Lockdowns also remain common despite the government's claim. For example, the MDC sent notice to detainees that they would be on lockdown from February 22nd, 2025 to at least March the 3rd, 2025, because multiple inmates became disruptive and utilized weapons during an incident. This was just a few months ago. The government argues that the unlocked violence relied upon colloquy does not serve as a valid basis for finding of exceptional circumstances because this violence occurred over a year ago. Unfortunately, this shows the government's ignorance with respect to inmates' violence at the MDC. On March the 6th, 2025, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York announced criminal charges against 25 defendants in 12 separate cases relating to violence and contraband smuggling at the MDC, all of which occurred recently between April 2024 and the present. These include charges against 15 inmates for violent assaults against other inmates from May 24 to the present, a former correctional officer for attempting to smuggle contraband into the facility on January 21st, 2025, an inmate for orchestrating a contraband smuggling operation between April and June 2024, an inmate for smuggling ceramic scalpels into the facility on October 12th, 2024, an inmate for possession of contraband and continue to commit fraud while detained at MDC, and an MS-13 gang associate for attempting to smuggle a large package of contraband, including 18 cell phones and marijuana to other MS-13 gang members incarcerated at MDC. Additionally, upon information on belief, just 2 Fridays ago, an inmate in the floor above Combs was stabbed. Finally, the government argues that Combs' bail motion to is devoid of any claims that the defendant himself was impacted in any way by the conditions he alleges. Once again, this shows the government's ignorance with respect to the situation at the MDC. And they redacted all of that. That's gone. Are we on the right page? How many pages, Harlem?
I think it's like maybe 8.
Okay, so we're at the end. We're getting there. The defendant, the defendant will submit to any condition the court deems appropriate to assure his appearance and ensure the safety of the community. So they're talking about him being violent. The government argues that even if extraordinary circumstances could be demonstrated, Combs fails to establish by clear and convincing evidence that he does not pose a danger to the community or a flight risk. The government is wrong. Combs has shown this court through his behavior in confinement that he does not pose a danger. Moreover, a combination of conditions, PTS monitored security, drug testing, approved visiting lists, could provide a court with the necessary assurance that absolutely nothing will continue to happen while Combs is pending his sentencing. The defendant does not pose a danger to others. First, despite the conditions of confinement at the MDC, Combs has not gotten into any fights. There have been allegations of violence at the MDC with respect to Combs, and for good reason. At trial, the defense admitted violence in connection with decades-old violence and an incident of assault for which Combs was first attacked repeatedly in June of 2024. So that was about almost a year ago. Well, it was a year ago. But Combs has not participated in any violence for the past 11 months, demonstrating to the court that even in the condition he is currently subject to, where there is unchecked violence surrounding him, he will not commit assault. He is sober, has been committed to bettering himself with therapy, as established in the trial record, and is committed to doing everything possible to support himself and his family. Second, the government argues that the trial record is replete with evidence of the defendant's act of violence towards others. Number 9, the witnesses the government called testified in support of racketeering conspiracy and ex-trafficking charges, all of which Combs was acquitted. And stunningly, the government is trying to support Combs's detention with its failed evidence that Combs assaulted Brianna Bongolan, who testified that Combs caused her substantial injury in Los Angeles at a time when he was 3,000 miles away. Whoa, come on, lawyers. The government troubling also points to unsworn evidence of non-testifying individuals to try to keep Combs in custody. It had a 2-month trial where it could have, but chose not to call these witnesses when they would have been subject to cross-examination and their allegations could have been tested. The government should not be able to support its arguments with untested accusations, as they did at the pretrial bail hearing. For example, it argued that Combs was violent toward Virginia Gina Huynh, with whom the defendant was in a relationship at the same time as Ms. Ventura. Ms. Huynh has written a letter in support of Combs' motion for bond, which is attached in Exhibit A. If any of this was true, the government would have called this individual, but without credible evidence, the court should not continue this to detain Combs. Finally, the government argues that Combs brutally attacked Jane in June 2024 in the context of a freak-off. However, the court will recall that on evening of June 2024, Jane invited Combs to her home. She had a magnum of champagne and tequila waiting. Unprompted by anything Combs said or anything happened that evening, at one point, Jane smashed Combs' head into the kitchen counter as he was bending over tying his shoe. She then began throwing glasses and burning candles at him, saying she hated him and calling him a pedophile. She explained this by testifying that Combs was dating another woman who was older than 18 but was younger than Jane. She continued throwing glasses at him and believed she got hot candle wax on him. It was in this context that Combs defended himself, and several hours after this, that an entertainment entertainment night alleged occurred. The government tried Combs on the incident of ex trafficking, and he was acquitted by the jury. It is distinguished it is disingenuous of the government for the government to claim that this extensive history of violence, that vast majority of which occurred over a decade ago, while Combs was addicted to drugs, means he is unable to show he is not a means he is unable to show he is not a danger to the community now. How is it that Combs, who has been in this institution for 11 months, and whatever that is redacted, has not been in any fights whatsoever, yet he cannot establish by clear and convincing evidence that he does not pose a danger to the community? Moreover, Combs will submit to any conditions the court views as sufficient. In closing, on this point, we ask the court to focus on Combs's time in jail. Violent people are violent in jail as well. They fight with inmates. They challenge the prison staff. They sometimes align themselves with violent groups so they can be more violent. That Sean Combs has been free of violence. Sean Combs has been free of violence of every sort is important to understanding that the man he is today. He has shown nothing but respect for the criminal justice system and everyone in it. From his first minute in jail until now, there is no reason to believe he will be violent or threatening to anyone in any manner. Sean Combs is not a risk of flight. The government cannot seriously argue that Combs is a risk of flight given his history of flying to New York under circumstances much greater than now to face his impending federal case head on. He is and always has been an active participant in his defense and would not make the decision to flee when he has prevailed against the most serious charges against him. When Combs was facing a life sentence, he did everything one man could do to show his desire to come to court. Now that he is facing much less than that, there is no credible reason to believe he would flee. In addition, as the court is aware, he is an active, supportive, loving father to 7 children, 4 of whom he has spent the last almost 11 months without presence or either parent, without the presence of either parent. Combs is forced on returning to his life. Combs is focused on returning to his life with his children and will not run from the responsibilities to his children or this court. For the foregoing reasons, we ask that the court release Combs on whatever conditions this court believes are necessary, pending his sentencing on October 3rd, 2025. We thank the court for its considerations. And that's his legal team. So once again, they are asking for his release to be released even after he has been denied again. And I have to be honest, those were some great points that his attorney made. Some great points. The link is in the chat if anybody wants to come up and speak with us. But I mean, they were able to, really respond in a logical way that says, yeah, we know, of course, he hasn't been violent in the last 11 months. He's incarcerated and he is trying to get out. So he's going to avoid that. They did talk about therapy, but really he's just seeing someone that they've hired to come in. We found that out. April Showers, hey, come on up. Anyone else can come up. And so I feel like the lawyers have responded in a strong manner. And I feel like maybe, the judge really needs to look at what they're saying. And then make a decision. And he's saying he will adhere to whatever you tell him he needs to adhere to. He's not a flight risk. He's giving up his passport. He's putting his home up. Like, exactly what they said. He didn't run from the hardest charges to beat, which was the RICO, and he overcame that. So do you guys think, he should be released? Like, they did a really good job in responding to this. I just don't like the Gina letter thing. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think I had been said that I think that he should just sit until October, until sentencing. And I'm sorry, April Showers. I wanted to just say Bad Bunny had put in the chat. She said that he should sit until October 2 because she said, what if he does something before sentencing and then they use it against him?
Right. So that's a good point, because what if something was to happen and he was there, and you know what I'm saying, and he didn't do anything? That's going to be a bad look on him. And maybe, just maybe, if he said till October 3rd, the 3rd, that they will let him out at that time, right? And we talked about also like continuing to bug the judge and bug the judge. You know, this is already August. You got 60 more days. 60 more days. Maybe just for his protection and his safety. I don't know if he's safer staying there and just staying out the way, or go home and sit at home and just stay out the way. I don't know. April, we're sorry. You can go ahead and speak now.
Okay, first of all, didn't this Gina girl get on Tasha K and talk about how he had beaten her, abused her, and everything else?
Yes, ma'am. Once again, I am calling out to Tasha K. If anybody has connection and can get to Tasha K, run it back, Tasha. Run it back, because the letter that is written and what Gina said on Tasha K don't match.
It don't match. So how can she be a credible witness? To me, it's another publicity stunt. And then she didn't show up for the trial.
Come on,
So
Miss
it,
April. Come on.
it
Yeah,
don't sit good, you
yeah.
know.
How can you believe her now, Miss April? Because she went and said one thing, said he stomped her, kicked her, beat her, and crying and making the public and
And she
everybody
was allegedly pregnant too.
and was
Remember?
pregnant along with the baby. And now he's not a threat. Like, you're not scared of him. He's a good man. He's a good father. He's a good this. He's a good that. Like, I trust him. What? Hey, Jordan Hyman. Hey, DJ King Miller. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. The link is in the chat if anyone wants to come up. Go ahead, Miss April.
So this is nuts to me. This woman is nuts to me. Um, she's probably part of the Stockholm syndrome, as they call it, because 1 minute he's the worst man you ever came across. Now you're defending him. So something don't smell right, Miss
Something,
Fraser.
something is
Something
crazy.
something ain't right with this. And
I,
no,
I said when she didn't show up for court, somebody's paying her to stay
yeah,
away. And then when she sent this letter, and I will say what was said on our part one, because there was a part one on my phone, then I had to come live. But that said that a word on the card was that she and Puff are back together. But of course he's gonna keep her close by him, because he needs for her to keep saying the good things about him, and that's the reason she didn't come to court, because he was good. You know, yeah, it was rough in like any relationship, but at the end of our relationship, he made it right. Like, he became this perfect person. Stop. Sit in the back, girl. Sit in the back.
a snake don't change. Not overnight like this. They
Right.
just don't change. This Gina girl to me has been you know, somebody that they got a hold to after that Tasha K interview. I feel as though Gina, and this is just my opinion, I feel as though she was either paid and she was threatened, and now I feel as though Gina is fighting for her life to stay alive. That's how I personally feel.
In my opinion, along to piggyback on that, I agree that I believe this is just opinions. Allegedly, she's being paid. She may have been threatened and said, you need to get it together. And this is what I need you to say. This is what I need you to talk about. I don't know, maybe not. But I just feel like she flipped the switch. Like, you can't come and tell us and have us feeling sorry for you. You know what that does, Miss April? That makes other victims look uncredible. Like, look, you side-eyeing other people. Are you telling the truth or are you not telling the truth now? So how can you be credible? Gina, nobody now is going to believe anything that you say because you don't cry wolf now.
Exactly.
Like,
And this, it makes it horrible for real victims. It makes it horrible that allegedly, you know, um, money can buy anything. It's just awful. The morals and values have left.
they're out the
And
door.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know, I do believe in redemption for anybody. I have
Yes.
not been a perfect woman my entire life. But I do not think P. Diddy has been redeemed. I think he is doing anything by any means necessary in order for him to be a free man.
Yeah, on this response, I feel like they did really good, but they said it also mentioned that the past 11 months he hasn't gotten into any fight, any trouble. No, he hasn't because he wants to get out. We also were under the impression that he was taking like involved in some substance abuse classes and some domestic abuse classes. Mark Agnifilio, his lawyer, came out and said, while we wish that was true, it's not even available in where he's at. So no, he's not. But we do have someone going to talk to him. That's not therapy. That's not the intense therapy he needs to be better. Can he fix it? Can he be better? Yes, if he really wants it. But he has to want it. You guys continue the conversation. My laptop's about to die. I'm gonna go grab my charger. But you can keep the conversation going.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hey Harlem, how you doing? Girl,
I'm
I
good,
just
April. How
think
you
this
doing?
case fine. I just think this case was just so wrongly presented. You know, I never liked P. Diddy, so I guess I am prejudiced in a way. I think about Latanya Rubin, the lady um, who was allegedly shot in that nightclub where Jennifer Lopez carried the gun. Shine took the rap. Um, Diddy's name has just been tied to too many unalivings, and it's time for him to pay, and he's not broke, and he's just spending all of his money to change the narrative, flip the script, possibly, and all of this is alleged. This is just my theory. This is not written in stone. Don't nobody try to come for this platform. This is just our opinions. He is a menace to society, a menace to society, and he needs to be handled.
You're right. You're right. Because even before Natanya Rubin, it was the incident at City College where they
Yeah.
oversold the tickets, and those
Right.
7 people they were stampeded. So he's been involved in the mix of things for years.
1991. Since 1991. 1991. Like, how long do we have to have this man allegedly terrorized rappers, the community, women, and everybody else that's associated with him? Sorry, I'm just calling it the way I see it.
And I don't know if I'm reading Willie's comment right. He was saying he can't be a free man to be with his kids. He's no saint. Right. We let him be with his kids. That's not what we're saying. His kids don't have nothing to do with what he's done in the past and what the reason that the prosecution is saying. Look at all this long list of things that he's either done or been associated with that was violent. And no, he hasn't
Um,
had a fight in the past 11 months, but just right before that, he had a fight with Jane Doe. Even if she did punch his head into the counter and threw stuff at him, he didn't have to beat her like he beat her. As a man, she couldn't whoop him, but you could get her off of you, but it had to be a different way, right? Leave. Leave. If she's doing that, you could get her off enough to get out the door and not beat her, not make her so scared and lock her in the rooms and she running from room to room from you.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Willie, he don't need to be around his kids. His kids have learned his behavior. His kids are named in lawsuits of doing the same behavior. So you can miss me with that too. His kids have been named in lawsuits. They're taking on the role. This was learned behavior. So you're going to have another generation, his boys, that's going to do the same thing that he did because they think this is normal behavior. And nothing has happened to their daddy. They're all lying, and the generational curse keeps going. Hell with Diddy, keep Diddy locked up, and get them all therapy. My opinion.
I
Sorry,
agree.
not sorry.
I agree with getting them off therapy. They all should go. They need therapy. But listen, therapy does not help someone that doesn't really want it. I'm gonna do therapy just to make it look good so I can get out. Like if you're on that level, then it's not gonna help. But if you really and truly want the help and you really want that therapy to really be better and make it okay, but you gotta want it. Other people can't want that for you. You gotta want it, or else it ain't gonna work. It just don't work.
And then he don't think he done did anything wrong. That's the sad part. They're making excuses for all of his. So they're making excuses for all of his bad behavior. Everything that he's linked to, they are finding an excuse to nip it in the bud like, nope, he didn't do this. Come on now.
Yeah, I agree. I just have to agree.
I'm just sick of Diddy and his antics and everything else. And I don't want to hear nothing about no black man. Black men, if y'all are kings, kings do not beat on queens.
Right.
Kings do not unalive their kids' mother allegedly. They don't get mad. They don't they don't share their women. Well, I guess some of them do. But all of this stuff that Diddy has done, this is not normal behavior. This is not manly behavior. This is not a man that I would want to be in society. I'm sorry, not sorry.
And anything, I mean, this is just what is happening to Diddy right now, I feel, and these are all our opinions, is that what goes around comes around. If there's anything that you've done, it's going to catch up with you. And I feel like there are some things, and we've seen it just from the video that we've seen with our own eyes that we can't unsee. He's done some things. And so those things, what goes around comes around. You have to pay for it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
So
you, Harlem, for reminding Mr. Willie Frazier that two of his sons are named in lawsuits. So the generational curse keeps going. Thank you, Harlem.
yeah,
When are we gonna stop this? When are men gonna stop disrespecting women? When are they
especially
gonna stop
especially putting
putting
their
their hands on them?
just don't do that. Just putting your hands on them.
It's like to be with these men now. It, um, it just seems like to be in a relationship, like women are actually catching hell. Natalie Cole made a song, "I'm Catching Hell." You
So
know, like
she did. She did make that song. Bad
yeah, like
Bunny. Bad Bunny said DJ, he had the president in his pocket until they reminded him about what Diddy said about him. Now 45 changed his tune. Yep. He was like, so basically during that conversation, at the end of the conversation, he was like, so basically it's a no for a pardon for Diddy. He said, yeah, I probably so. It's a no.
Yeah, he said they were friends until he started going into politics and he said some things. I mean, somebody say I should be banished. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to. If y'all had the power to do what Trump did, if somebody talks bad about y'all, y'all would say the same thing. Like, no, I ain't getting ready to help him. Why would I help somebody? And they done sat up here and talked about me like a dog and said I should be banished over some politics.
We lost
Hey, Montana.
phases.
Hey, how
There
are you?
I am. I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, hey Montana.
Hey,
Hey, how
Montana,
are you?
how
Hey,
you
How are you?
doing?
Montana.
Hey, how are y'all?
So Willie says now Trump said a lot of racist. What did he say? Trump said a lot of racist, offensive things to black people with no apology. I approve this message. Um,
I've never heard Trump say the N word. I've never heard him say that he wouldn't want to come back as a black man. Trump partied with black people. Okay, he was all on Soul Train. Trump is the one that backed Jesse Jackson campaign when he ran. Okay, so I don't know where all of the racial stuff came with people saying Jesse Jackson was a racist. Well, he sure backed. I mean, the President-elect Donald J. Trump was a racist, and he backed Jesse Jackson campaign back in the 80s. So I ain't trying to hear none of that stuff that people trying to say, because Trump was down with black people from what I saw back in the day. Also, what he took a ad, everybody thought them boys did that. Why did their parents allow them to confess to something? That was one thing. Y'all taking one thing to use against him. Diddy got a million things against him and y'all still defending him. Make that make sense. Diddy got all kind of unalivings, bodies, former former girlfriends, former rappers, the way he treated the black rappers, and you worrying about Donald Trump with one thing he said.
Give it to him. Give it to him. Preach.
You know, like y'all just really, yeah, I can't get with these people. I just can't. Like one thing he did wrong, but you got P. Diddy that been terrorizing black people for over 30, 40 something years, and y'all still calling him a saint. You can't make this stuff up. Where they find these people at, Montana? Where they find them at? Please tell me.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
wow. So there you have it. I mean, she said it all.
No, I just can't with my people. We got a black man that has terrorized black people, black rappers, the black families, the black community, oversold tickets, got people trampled, allegedly shot a woman, allegedly, um, gave all of these rappers have come up on the live. You got all of the rappers talking about all of the bad contracts. He kept the curse going. I mean, he was supposed to go in there and say, I want to make a difference. I want to make sure the black artists get get the contracts right. I'm not gonna cheat him. He go in there and do the same thing that the other people have been doing, and y'all love this man dirty draws. Oh my God, please. Please. I'm gonna need therapy. You can't make this stuff up.
So just real quick, thank you guys, everybody, for being here. As we are over here, we are lit over here, first of all, but we're also respectful over here. So everybody has their own opinion, and so no disrespecting here at all. So feel free to come up and speak your piece, whatever way you go, whether it's for or against Diddy. You're welcome up here, and we will make sure that it's respectful up here if you want to come up. But again, thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Let's keep the conversation going.
And I also want to say, Willie Frazier, I do feel as though Diddy can be redeemed, but not right now. I don't think anything that P. Diddy is doing right now is to save his butt from being held accountable for his actions. You want to hold Trump accountable for Central Fab taking the ad out and talk about him, but nobody wants Diddy to be held accountable for nothing. Please make it make sense. I'm just trying to understand the mind frame. Like all of the rappers, the bad contracts. I mean, Craig Mack, look at all of these people. Like Biggie, Tupac. I mean, these people were trying to get away from him. Like, he didn't do right by the black artists. That should have you mad. But it's better for you to be mad at Trump than to be mad at Biggie, huh? Yeah, make it make sense. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm sorry.
You okay? You're all right. I'm glad you came. Keep the conversation going. I mean, you're just only that's how you feel, and you have the right to say how you feel. Just like everybody else does. So it's okay. It's good. It's good. So yeah, she said it all. Montana, anything you want to add to this?
No, I mean, you can't blame him. He doing everything he can to save his life. That's what he's supposed to do at this moment with everybody against you.
Yeah.
At this point in time, all the people that he thought, you know, you know, was down for him was against him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the time
Yeah,
now where you care
I feel
about
like
yourself now.
yeah, I feel like anybody in his situation, you're right. They have the right to fight for themselves, to fight to want to get out, to fight to show that they're right or whatever. But right now, and he's just in a situation where when the prosecution, the courts are just not leaning on his side. Like he hasn't proven himself enough to where they're saying, okay, let him be released. Is he being treated wrong? Should he be released because he was beat the RICO charge? Has he has he had time served at this point? It's up to the courts. And it's up to his lawyers and Diddy's legal team and himself to continue to fight for that, if that's what he's trying to do. So my argument today here is just Gina and her back and forth, like that's what my thing was. I said it. If they let him out or if they keep him, I won't be surprised. I don't, either way, I'm not surprised. If they
But
let him get out, I'm not surprised.
one thing he needs to focus on when he do get out is now that you see how many Like your money saved you. If you was an average person from the street, you'd have got convicted on all that stuff. The money would
Yeah.
save you. So now that you see that your money saved you, imagine how many people that went through the same situation you went through that didn't have no money and doing life sentence right now. So you need to get out and advocate for people that don't have money to afford uh legal support and advocate for those people of wrong convictions. Because you see that you could have been convicted and you had the power and you got the money to help and the resources.
He had the money, the power, and probably videotapes on a lot of people, a lot of entertainers, judges, politicians, and everything. That's why he's been able to get away. The average blow Joe that's out here doing that type of stuff, they don't have that type of pull. But everybody went silent on him. They went silent. Ain't nobody standing up for him. It's time, you know, his time is up. But
It's,
again, if I had the money, I would fight too. I ain't
and then,
mad at him for fighting, but
but the thing about it
it's
is,
so obvious.
but the thing about it is, when you like the area that he in, the state that he's in, the stuff that you see on TV with people sleeping on the sidewalks with sleeping bags and stuff like that, even in the winter, like that stuff real, where they sleeping in the parks and all that. Like, how can, like, if how can you have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and drive or walk past these type of people every day and don't do nothing about it?
Well, it would be nice if he would own up to his stuff and say, I want a second chance in society and to make it right, and then get out and start doing stuff. But, he hasn't taken any classes, no domestic violence, no nothing. He hasn't done anything. Only thing he been doing is been trying to beat the system, pay off people, allegedly pay off the jurors. I mean, all of this stuff. It has he hasn't taken responsibility. Even when he took responsibility when that tape came out with Cassie. He said that wasn't me. I was on dope. Okay, we can get with that. Then the trial starts, and then you trying to say that wasn't a tape. All of this, like, dude, you gonna have to look at yourself in the mirror. We all fighting demons. We all had to face our demons. And until he does that, he will never get 1 ounce of sympathy for me. He's gonna keep fighting. He's gonna be broke. And then he's not gonna be in a position to help anybody.
I don't
And
think
you're
he'll be.
right.
I don't think he'll be broke, but those things he need to start looking into. Like I couldn't even walk. Like as a thousandaire, I couldn't even walk past a homeless person without doing nothing for him. That's just me. So that's something that everybody should open their eyes and start doing now to support their community. So when you get into stuff like that, or people put bad stigmas on your name, they gonna support you because they know
Well,
that you support them.
unfortunately, Montana, it's us regular everyday people that's just barely making it. We're the ones that's helping the people, the homeless, feeding them, taking them coats and stuff. It ain't the rich. They could care less.
For all of them, it should open their eyes to go ahead and support people like that because these the people that got your back.
Yeah, and I see what Anthony and Bad Bunny is saying about his asset and losing everything. Like, I have to be honest, like, I didn't want to see him lose everything because he has children, and every one of those children depended on him financially. They didn't ask to be in this situation. And so I'm glad that he won't lose that. But I think I'm just wondering, like, how does he come out and continue to grow that now that this has happened? Like, all, and he's lost partnerships. He's lost the key to the city. He's lost, all these business ventures. How do he maintain that and keep growing it and not be stagnant and then fall off some type of way? Like, how does that happen? What does he have that's going to gain him or keep his sustainability in this game called billionaire status? Like, right? What happens with the money?
I mean, it's a lot of things he could do. Like you could be
No, go ahead.
partner, you could be partner owners and be a solid investor, and nobody don't have to know you that you did that because you solid.
I mean, since he's been in jail, has he uh, donated any money to domestic violence, women of domestic violence, to any shelters, to any of that? Those are the things that he should be doing, where
Yep.
people might have a change of heart. But
Yep.
he's not doing that.
I'm sorry, Miss April. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But
Yeah,
I do.
he's just he's you know um give to the domestic violence women, give to the shelters where they go, make a donation. But he ain't did that because he too busy trying to say I didn't do anything, and we know you did it.
And then another
He
thing,
got to
April,
own up,
it was the poor
huh?
people. It's the poor people and the low class people, the one who making them their money they make now by going to their concerts and screaming their music and stuff like that. And them the ones they forget about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause you got the
Well,
average
really,
house, you got
really,
the
I'm
average
glad.
woman, you got the average woman in the household will pay her last $50 or $60 to go to their concerts, knowing they ain't got no money to pay their light bill next week.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
And like I say, they see him on the street and wouldn't even speak to him. He wouldn't even date him. He wouldn't even buy him a meal.
Uh, yeah, Trump donates money. Claudette. A lot of people talking about he a racist and all that, but I've looked up the history on him where in his Trump Towers where he got a whole floor on his tower of his hotel where he take homeless people off the street and they got a own floor of his hotel.
I
And
did not
why
know
is everybody, yeah, this conversation, why is everybody worried about Trump? This ain't about Trump. We
And and
still deflected.
and
And what about Gina? What about Gina, a lady who I feel whose life has been threatened, and she's doing everything that she's doing to survive.
and
Can
then
you imagine the fear in this woman's heart and her life?
and then another thing is back in where Jesse Jackson was campaigning to be president. Um, he Trump endorsed his campaign.
He paid for everything.
You got it's a lot of videos where you got Jesse Jackson thanking Trump for looking out for the black communities.
Mm.
Look it up.
Thank you guys for being here. We got quite a few people in here. If we can get the likes up, if you can hit the like, it's for free. It keeps us in the algorithm. This is a good conversation. We can continue the conversation. Just keep it respectful because that's what we're about over here. And regardless what your opinion is, we respect every opinion here. And again, thank y'all for being here. Hit the like and become a member and subscribe if you have not already subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Claudette. Hey, everybody. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Willie. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. She said,
Yeah,
so are you okay with everything he did, especially to women? I feel sorry for the women in your life if you are. Ooh.
Bars,
Hey, Two Cash.
bars.
Well, this is what I'm saying because these women are mothers. I'm so sure there are a lot of people that grew up seeing their parents fight or their mom's boyfriends jump on them and everything. When are we gonna end this? This
Yeah,
ain't normal. It ain't
right.
normal.
I have to agree. I have to agree. At some point, there has to be some accountability. I don't, the only thing that he didn't even really take accountability with Cassie in that video. That was something he felt he had to do. So I really don't feel like there's any accountability there. I think that he's pleading and portraying something so that he can get out. But where's the accountability for the things that you have done? Whatever
And I
those things are, where's the
and I feel you
accountability?
on that one. And I feel you on that.
You know, we gotta be he's gotta be accountable for something. You can't just say he's just a clean slate. Like none of this happened. Everybody's lying on him. He ain't did nothing. That's just not what I believe.
And then another thing is this what I think would have helped him. All right, you did what you did, is done, was done. You done got the verdict. You could at least made a public apology to everybody where the judge would have seen that and said, hey, this man took accountability and he took the time out and apologized. Even though it probably incriminated him on certain things that he wasn't convicted of. But I respect that.
Yeah. Claudette
I
said,
mean, he didn't even try to blame his behavior on like shoot, you was a dope fiend, dude. I mean, you ain't even said that. I
Claudette
could
said,
rock with a man. Oh, okay.
But
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
but
I keep interfering. I'm
but
sorry. I don't mean to. But I wanted to say this to Claudette real quick. She said that Cassie's $30 million riches. And maybe she is. Maybe people don't think that she should be because there was some times where she was down with what they was down with. But no amount of money can justify for a man beating a woman like that. No amount of money can take the place for that. That was not necessary. She's vulnerable. She couldn't even protect herself. So I mean, it had to be other ways other than just stomping her out and beating her like that. Yeah, she's $30 million richer. That is right. And some people
Cassie had a ten album deal that never happened.
say it never
So
happened.
that's
listen,
her 30 million.
and then another thing is, ain't no amount of money can pay for the exposure that you've been exposed of throughout the world.
That's right.
Not like you can never be respected again because a man think he could try you the same way the next man did.
This is what I'll say about Gina because she came and she said this, just like Two Cash said. Gina already had openly spoke about that, and we talked about that, how unruly he was. But now you're taking that back, and I want to know what is causing her to take that back. Like what happened? Like did that not happen? Now you saying that because we can't unhear what you told Tasha K. Hey Tasha, run it back, Tasha. You
Yeah,
can't
I
unhear.
mean, people was feeling for this lady because you had the Cassie video, so he was abusive. Then she does her thing, and people were really sympathizing with her. So now the reason people ain't rocking with Gina is because either you were paid to lie now, or he's threatened you. And
Allegedly.
people allegedly, all of this is alleged. Like, if you're fighting for your life, Gina, there are people that can protect you. I guess allegedly, because you know we we've seen what this monster has been able to get away with all of these years. That
And they're
might be
saying,
God's plan
and they're
to
saying that
bring.
they're saying Diddy wasn't charged with Cassie's the video. I get that. You're right. Like we know, you're absolutely right. That is a fact. He was not charged with that. But what that did, it just showed how that he is a violent. That what they were doing with that video is that he was a violent person. He violently abused her. So that's all that was. So that's why he can't get out, because they think he's a violent person. And all the things that he's done in his past violently is coming against him right now, is what I'm saying. So no, he wasn't, that's not what he was on trial for. That's right. But I do respect your opinion. I do. I get that.
But just like I said, imagine if he would have did good by the people that supported him. Imagine what they would have been doing right now, write petitions to the court, sign it off, getting all these signatures and say, hey, we want him out.
Yeah.
But April, I'm gonna say this right here. If you was my mom or my grandma, I would hate to come to your house because I can imagine what you sound like fussing.
She don't
Ooh,
reply.
yeah. Yeah, my son already be like, Mama, I don't want to hear. I done got too old. I'm 63, Montana. I ain't ready to be sugarcoating nothing. You
Hey,
know,
soon as you
I'm
get,
supposed to be,
hey,
I'm
soon as you
supposed to
start
tell
talking,
you
I'm
the
hauling
truth.
butt.
Yeah,
But
You,
it just feels like what you're passionate about, what you believe and you stand on, No.
yeah.
I'm not saying, okay, so Claudette, this is what I'm saying. If this is just me speaking, I'm not saying that he should never get out. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is what I'm saying clearly. He should be accountable, held accountable for the things that he did do. So whatever that holds for him, he needs to be accountable for the things that he did. For the things that are false against him, whatever those things are, no, he shouldn't have to sit and do time for that. He beat the RICO charge. They didn't find him guilty for that. But the things that he's guilty of, whatever that is, he has to be accountable, like all of us. You have to be accountable for that. That's just what I think.
And I do believe everybody can be redeemed. God sees the best in everybody. Once you face your demons, we all fight demons, but nobody wants to say, I get up, I'm fighting demons every day. I got it. I'm 63 and I'm still fighting demons. Every day I got to pray to fight demons, to fight off past things I battled and overcame. I am a human being like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to admit that. Everybody wants to walk around like they've been perfect. They ain't never did no wrong. And I'm like, where these people come from? Nobody wants to say I made a mistake. Nobody is taking accountability for their actions anymore. But that's just my take on it, y'all. And nothing will ever change. We're gonna still be in this continuous cycle, and it's sad. I had a lot of pills to swallow with a lot of people that I supported, but I faced the facts that they did some crimes and they have to do the time. What is so hard with people? Why what is hard with people saying they did it? Now let's get on the road to recovery.
Trump never redeemed himself. That's facts. Yeah, this is a good conversation, you guys. I appreciate it. Again, if there's anyone want to come up, we'll stay on a little while longer because it is a good conversation. And I love the fact that there's both sides. People are seeing it from every direction, and we can listen to both sides of it. We just over here I just want to stay in the middle of things, but I do have an opinion, a strong opinion about right is right, wrong is wrong, in what I feel like what is right or what is wrong. And I just don't feel at this point. There's a couple of things. I don't feel like I feel like Gina is dead wrong. for whatever she's told the public, and now is redacting that. And I feel like Sean, that Puff, I feel like he has to be accountable, and he has to account for what he's done, whatever that wrong is. And that's something that he's going to have to make peace with. He's going to have to figure out how he does that. But I also feel like there's a third point for me. I also feel like that when people need help, and when they go seek help, that the only way the help is going to help you is that you really want it. Like, you really want to make the changes, not because I really want to get out of jail. I really don't want to be sitting here. I've really changed like that. No, because I really want help, and I can really make a difference in this world for the better if I get the help that I need and really make it work for myself. That's my 2 cents about it all.
And again, I believe, everybody can be redeemed. I believe everybody, some people, they don't get it right to the 8th time that they've messed up. Some the first time they mess up,
Yeah.
but there's no accountability here. No accountability with P. Diddy. And we are talking about Gina. And Gina, with her writing that letter today, to me, this showed alleged payoffs or a person being threatened.
We came here with the same thing. When I saw it, I said, Miss April, I was like, this. And when she didn't show up for court as the third victim,
Yeah.
I thought, I feel like she's been paid off to not show up. Allegedly. I mean, that was my opinion. And then when I saw this letter, that it was like, dang, maybe she for real was paid off. I don't know why she's saying what she said when she said what she said on those 2 things are total opposites. What is going on? So I'm feeling like, yeah, I was just like, either she's paid off, or either somebody allegedly has threatened her, or she just like chose to be like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm just gonna go this way. I don't know, but it's just real strange. It's just real strange how she moving.
And as a woman's intuition, any woman could tell that this woman is probably, allegedly, all this is alleged, is probably been threatened, or she's fighting for her life, or this is the way a scared woman moves.
It's crazy, whatever it is. It's just something don't feel right about it. Something just ain't feeling right about it.
And it's so, I feel sorry for Gina if she has been put in a situation, allegedly, that where she's been threatened. And then, like I say, you take this money or this is going to happen. Because all of us know when people are in positions, they have the money, the power, they can make things happen. Okay? And some people are not going to let anything happen to them. They're trying to live too. And so I feel as though allegedly Gina is fighting for her life to stay alive.
I hope that's not the case. But we just never know. And again, everything that we talk about here tonight is alleged or our own opinions. We don't have facts. We do not have facts on any of this, but we're just taking what we do have facts from the filings and from the letters and just giving our opinion. This is just our response and our reaction to it. That's it. So Anyway, this was a good conversation. Like, I was supposed to be off tonight, wasn't coming live. And when I saw that, I was like, we got to talk about it. Like, I really want to know what other people is it just me? Or, I had to figure out because the letter just floored me. And so I wanted to come live. But I appreciate everybody. I thank you guys for being here. I
Yeah.
thank you for the new subscribers. Welcome to the family over here, because it's lit over here and it is good vibes only. And we respect everybody's opinion. We try to keep it calm over here. I got some pretty good mods. Shout out to my mods who will not allow the chat to get too out of hand, because that's not who we are. We just over here having grown conversation over here. And so I appreciate everybody for being adult. And
everybody, y'all support Phases. Phases is a great person in mind, and y'all support her.
Thank you, Miss.
But we got women's intuition too.
Yeah.
Montana, just like I got that mother's intuition, Montana, like I would never want to see you go in the wrong direction, And I look at people that come in my chat, I got Ryder, fighting with the garbage workers. There are real people out here that's trying to make a difference in this world, that's not getting the respect that they deserve. And maybe Diddy will find those people and help those people, and then we can think about him in a whole different way.
Yeah. So just like you said earlier, Miss April, like, everybody on here has done something that we ain't proud of, probably, right? And that doesn't exclude Diddy. I'm sure there's things that he is not proud of, and that doesn't exclude him from being able to recover from them things and being better. All I'm saying is, if that's the case, do that, be better, make it count. Make it count. Make it count, if nothing else, for your children. You got a 2-year-old coming up. Make it count for her. That's all I'm saying. You don't want nobody putting their hand. You got girls. You don't want nobody putting their hands on your little girls. Got 4 of them. That's all I'm saying. Just think and be better. Be a better person. That's all. He can be redeemed like anybody else. He's not discounted from that. Just do that and just be better. And then take account for what you did, and what you did, and you didn't do it, and in your whole heart you didn't do it. You ain't gotta cop to that. You don't have to do that if you didn't do it. But what you did do, be accountable. That's all. And it's hard for humans to do that. Just be freaking accountable.
And anytime you got mob bosses talking about this Diddy case, you got mob bosses saying, hey, dude, your time is up. I mean, it's been a good run. Like they say, everybody's got to pay. You got to pay. But he's going to keep fighting to the end. So I guess if you got the money, you fight. But
yeah, so we were talking about also, Miss April, I think it was last night or night before, whatever, that maybe at this point, they keep denying him bail or whatever. And I was thinking, just don't make the judge mad. Like, just sit there till October, which is 60 days away, right? From today, 60 days from today. And then you get to go before the judge and get sentenced, right? Maybe you don't keep pressing and you just sit back and chill and wait for, to see what's going to happen. And maybe you can get time served. Like, I'm just all over the place with
it. Phases, they were making the excuse saying that they don't have those classes in the jail, right? The domestic violence and stuff. Well, they got them online. He can be taking them courses online.
But what they did do, though, they did hire somebody to go in and have sessions with him. So while the MDC is just a holding facility, people don't do their time there, right? they're waiting for either trial or sentencing or whatever. So they don't have those. They have them in other facilities. But they did, his team or him or whoever hired somebody to come in and do services with him. So I mean, that's a start, right? That's a start.
Yeah, that's the start. Anybody can be redeemed. We want you to be redeemed, but we want you to be a point in your life like everybody has done. You know, we want you to be held accountable, take accountability for your actions, and then we're gonna be right there supporting you. But as long as you saying like I ain't did nothing and all of this alleged threatening paying off and stuff is going on, this ain't a good look for you. This
Yeah.
ain't. You need to sit down until October. Well, I don't want no other women writing no letters for this man. And they done been on a talk show, a platform, a big platform that has 1 million+ viewers, such as Tasha K,
Okay.
saying what a man done did to them, and then now you're recanting your story. That's not a good look.
Yep.
It's not a good look.
And the only reason I'm saying, hey, Tasha K, run it back, Tasha, is because I need her to see. I mean, she need to. I'm just frustrated with her. You need to see what you said, like, and then let us know what it is because we felt bad for you. We felt, as the public, felt horrible that these things were happening to you because we already knew what had happened to Cassie. So then you came and you spoke your piece, and he was a horrible man. He stomped all those things. What happened? Like, that wasn't him? Was that somebody else? Come tell us what. Come to the Black Media Report. Come back to Black Reporter Media. Tell us. Let us know. Just,
Hmm.
yes. Yeah. So
And we got Black Money Corp in here too. Um,
yeah, he shouted you out, Miss April.
yeah, Gina floored me. Gina floored me today. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. I feel as though I'm in the twilight zone. I'm in the twilight zone. I'm in some type of matrix because I've never seen so many people deflect on what he is, what he's done, and the allegations. They want to throw everybody else in the mix but him. And this is like the craziest stuff to me. But hey, we like who we like, we love who we love, but I've had hard pills to swallow too, even in my personal life with people I defended. But I swallowed them pills. When the facts come out about somebody, this is who they are. Only thing you can do, I mean, I wish he would take some type of accountability so we can get him on the road of redemption.
Yep. What Ray J that posted this, she did say she said in her letter that even at the end of their relationship, like he had made amends, he had gotten better, that he had changed or whatever, but I didn't see it. I didn't see that at that point. I
Girl.
didn't at that time. I didn't see that. But welcome, Ray
And
J.
then it looks like that, she was another lady that has played around with the system. Like, was all of this staged? Was all of this planned? Things that make you go, and
Hmm.
we'll never, well, somebody will start talking. Because let me tell you something, the truth does eventually come out.
You will.
Because once this case is over with and they start working on the pills, you will find out everything that was hidden that the government didn't allow. I mean, you got this. Look at that chef. that was saying that she thought she was supposed to testify. You got big homie that's to move to another country, and y'all don't think this man is a menace to society. You can't make this stuff up.
So I see that, Ray J. Oh, thank you. I wish you would come on here. Hit the link. The link is in the chat if you want to come up to the stage. Ray J said, well, Jane Doe, who dated him recently, never got whooped until one instant where she whooped on him. So here's my thing, though. She is a lady. So if she did do that she admitted that she did knock his head into the thing or whatever, and he just lost it. For me, as a man, for him as a man, my opinion would be she did it, get her off of you enough to get out, just leave. And don't F with her no more. Cut her off. Because I'm not going to have you putting your hands on me because I might, click out and do something. So I'm going to leave and get away from that. Right? There's no excuse for him doing what he did to her after she did that. She shouldn't have put her hands on him, though. Hands down. We got to call it like it is. She shouldn't have put her hands on him either. She doesn't have that right. Nobody should be putting their hands on nobody. Period.
And Ray J, every man treats every woman different, okay? Now you a man, you know that. You know what women you can get away with some stuff and what women you can't.
Yeah. Yep. Some people feel the more toxic, the more they like it. True. That's true, but then don't go if that's the case. And I'm not sure which direction you're talking, but if that's the case with Gina, then don't even go to Tasha K and say it. If you like it, I love it. But don't go telling the whole world and then switch up.
I wasn't raised that love is supposed to hurt.
Mm-mm.
Love ain't bruises.
Right.
Is love bruises? Is love beat down? Is love black eyes? Is that love?
Where you got to go to a reconstructive specialist to reconstruct your whole face?
Love is getting your nose broke?
It's crazy.
You can't make this stuff up. But then again, I'm still respectful how everybody feel. Like I said, I just want him to come to a point and be redeemed. And I'm like you, Phases. When I saw this, I'm like, this can't be real. This cannot be happening. Like, I'm in the matrix. I'm not taking a red pill or a blue pill. Because, 1 minute he's the worst thing, and 1 minute you writing letters and everything. And so, and I've seen how the back and forth, usually whatever the woman starts off saying is usually what the truth is. Y'all better keep that in mind. When these women get to talking, is what the truth is.
Yeah.
When they come out with stories, it's the truth.
Yeah. I think I agree with you, Harlem. Like, she's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So no, that's what makes her not credible. You're going back and forth. We don't know what to believe. What all we want is the truth. What's the truth? That's it. The truth. It is what it is. Anyway, y'all. Miss April, thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, everybody. 2Cash, Black Money Corp.
No problem. Montana, it was good seeing you again. Harlem, it was good again seeing y'all. Good seeing you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
2Cash, Willie, Everybody. Claudette for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, Willie. Hey, Willie. I love you. I respect your opinion. You know, we just want him to take accountability. You know, just like when you get a speeding ticket and you were speeding and you go to court and that judge said gotcha, you got to take accountability. You have to pay your ticket. You can't bring up another speeder's name. That's the problem I'm having with people. You know, let's start making people take accountability.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
out.
That's all. And let me finish. Tracy, shout out to Tracy, Writer for Life. Shout out to everybody that's new here. Everybody, Miss April. I just you said a lot of stuff that just made sense, you know. And I think at the end of this conversation, the whole thing for me is accountability. Accountability. That's all. Just be accountable. Nice seeing y'all. Anthony Raha. Did I say that right? Welcome. Thank you for being here. This was a good conversation. It's on a Sunday night. We weren't even supposed to be live tonight, but Gina brought us out. She brought us out tonight. Shout out to Gina. Tasha K, run it back. All right. So anyway, we're gonna go for now. If that's all you guys have, if you want to continue, we can continue. But I think this was good. We've said what we had to say. These are our opinions only. We're just responding to what we see in black and white. We don't know. We weren't there, so nothing set in stone. Opinions, allegedly, all that. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for being here.
All right, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Miss April. See you next time. Hopefully you won't stay gone too long.